Hey there, toy collector friends and Battlestar Galactica friends alike. Welcome back to the channel. This is the time traveling toy collector, and right in front of us we have the Battlestar Galactica modern base star from the rebooted version of the TV series Battlestar Galactica, brought to us here as part of the official ships collection from Hero Collector and Eagle Moss. And I have to say, this is a really fascinating design. It is very true to the original. I'm not putting it on a turntable because, as you can see, it's very pointy. So I need to manipulate it myself to sort of turn it around to get all aspects of it into shot. But yeah, it's very, very pointy, and I will pick it up and give you a chance to have a nice up close and personal look any second now. But I wanted to say, yeah, the original Basestar version, which we have already looked at, and that video is available within the Battlestar Galactica playlist of the classic Basestar, which was almost a bit like, well, I was going to say a popular brand of cookie-based biscuit with cream in the middle. So you've got the two portions that meet in the middle. This is a very similar concept, but a very different aesthetic, and one that much more is in keeping with the sleeker style of the rebooted series. I did want to say, I will pick it up properly and give you an up close and personal look at it, but a few complaints latterly have been of Hero Collector ships that don't have sufficient die cast in them, heavily reliant on ABS plastic. This looks like it's quite small. It isn't, it's quite lengthy, but it looks like it's going to be quite light. It's not, it's actually quite heavy, much heavier than I anticipated, in fairness. So I just wanted to get that said. It also may come as a surprise when you take it out of the box, because again, the general feel of the box is quite similar. However, once you get this out of the box, you will notice that you'll start to feel that it is quite weighty. And be mindful of that, because again, it's held together however it's held together in the middle. You don't want to suddenly find, because you've misjudged the weight, it comes apart in the middle, or you inadvertently drop it and you suddenly have it in 6 sections. Because whilst it's quite weighty, I still can foresee this being very, very fragile. So mishandling, mistreatment, however accidental, may leave you vulnerable to a substantially damaged Cylon base star. So I'm just going to rotate it around a bit more for you so you can get a bit of that 360 look. And I just think, as I say, the aesthetic here is really great. I love the detailing on the various pylons that come out of the side of it. You can really see that sort of sense of armament. You can see there's some of that carbon scoring, particularly along the top of the model there, which suggests it's seen some spacefaring action. I'm going to zoom in a little bit now so you can see that central section, sort of the core of the ship. Because for me, there's an awful lot of additional detailing here. Now, there will be those who are quite right to do so, who will comment on the fact that this paintwork here, these yellow indications of lights, which are being used to indicate where there are quarters or various other things where there is activity on board, are not screen accurate. In some cases, some of the ships in the various Hero Collector ranges, that is quite a fair observation. They don't always line up the light work with the actual indentations on the models, which is a frustration. But again, for a mass produced piece, a little bit of non-alignment I can live with. I've looked quite closely at this, and hopefully you can see it now. I'm not sure that there is anything for them to be aligned with here. Now, this is just my viewpoint, but it looks like they've just been dotted rather randomly around that central core and along some of those pylons. When we pick it up, we might get a chance to sort of revisit that, and just to see if I'm being a little bit unfair and mean. But in the meantime, I do like the sense that it conveys, and I do like that Grillwork as well, and again you can see a lot of that paneling. And from a presentational point of view, I just really like that aesthetic of how it sort of reaches out in all those different directions. It's quite a threatening piece of spacefaring gear, I think it's fair to say. So I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit now, because I'm going to bring it in hand, so I'm going to bring it towards the camera manually. But yeah, another plus point for me, just as I'm lifting it up, is it's a really handy and really convenient stand. Some of them are a little tricky where they've got clips that need to fit over something. This particular variation works wonders for me. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, so here you can see some more angles of that sort of pseudo lighting paintwork that they've got going on there. As I say, it creates the image it needs to create. It's in line with the aesthetic. It's in line with what we see on screen. I will happily concede I don't think it's going to be 100% screen accurate, because they don't seem to be aligned with any specific predetermined windows. They seem to be a little added ad hoc. But that said, it isn't detracting from my appreciation and enjoyment of this particular model. Again, we can see, let's turn it over. It is sort of very weighty, but it goes in so many different directions. You've got to be so careful. So we can see a lot of that lovely detailing on the underside of the base of the Basestar here, and how it looks. It is cleaner, arguably, than that of the top section. Although I would suggest, let's double check that, it does mirror it quite well. Similarly to the classic Basestar, the exterior portions, top and bottom, and the interior portions are mirror images. So the mirror images of the interior section, which I'm trying to get you some sight of now, they are there, and they are somewhat different sculpts to the exterior. So they're not just the same piece. Well, they are the same pieces joined in the middle, but they are not just top and bottom. Top and bottom are the same. They are different, which does create that lovely look when you are seeing it in display. I do urge again caution. Just as I'm holding it, I can actually feel that this this has all the potential to be quite dangerous. The ends aren't sharp. I love the detailing there. I just love that. Look at that. Yeah, the ends aren't sharp, but I wouldn't want anyone to go running into this, because I can't help but think it wouldn't end well for them. So let me pop it back into its cradle. You can see there it sits really nicely. Now again, obviously, this does not scale well with the Cylon Raiders or the Vipers, because it can't, because the Basestars are used to launch the Vipers. To launch the Cylons Raiders against the Vipers and against the Colonial fleet. So there's no way this could scale effectively. So you have to just sort of accept that, or not. You know, if you don't accept it, please don't purchase it, because you'll be very disappointed. But they would have to be really, really tiny for them to engage with this, and then it's not worth purchasing the Raiders. So I think this is a really nice depiction of that modern style Basestar, and how that works. Again, I'll get it up against a star cloth for some photos at the end of the video, but I for one am particularly pleased that I've picked this up as part of my toe dipping into the Battlestar Galactica range from Hero Collector. And again, I was very lucky because they did it. There was a bit of a promotion on. They're always doing little promotions on the Hero Collector website. I do urge people to check it out. And I was able to get a percentage off the price, which always makes me a happy shopper. So, do you need to clear a slot on your shelf for the modern Basestar from the Battlestar Galactica range? If you're a fan of the show, and if you're a fan of these ships, I would say yes, most definitely you do. It's really well done, in my humble opinion. notwithstanding the point about the lighting rigs. But I think from an aesthetic point of view, from a visual point of view, you can see there that it has, I'll pull out a little bit more so you can get a sense of it. It has this malevolent air to it that I think really, really works. And I, for one, am very grateful that I've picked it up. As with all Eagle Moss and Hero Collector, or almost all, it does come with a collectible magazine. Just move that slightly backwards before I do myself and the magazine and the model of mischief. And there's an aerial shot on the front, modern Basestar. It does come complete with lots of lovely illustrations, lots of fantastic text to give you some background information. I'm not going to pause on the pages. Some nice aesthetic shots to give you a sense of the action. There's one of the Cylon Centurions. Some lovely cutaways so you can get an idea of the design, etc., etc., and the component parts and what they do. If you want to have a read, then my advice would be source the ship, purchase it, and then you get this magazine as well. So that for me is the best way of doing that. So it is, all in all, from my point of view, really good value. You get a lot of good value in reading the magazine. It tells you a lot about the context of the ship in relation to the show, and of course you get the ship itself, which is really the main event, let's be honest. And I think this is really nice. So it definitely warrants me making a slot on my shelf, because I think this is a really, really interesting to look at as well. It catches the light so interestingly, and it just is it's going in all directions at once, and I really like that aesthetic. So yeah, it's clear, I think, from your point of view, that I'm a fan of this model. If you are or you're not, I hope this video helped you make your mind up as to whether or not this was something you'd like to add to your collection, and whether it is or it's a hard pass. Either of those are fine, because it's absolutely your choice what you spend your money on. But if it has helped, do please smash that like button. It really helps me, and it really helps the channel. And whilst you're busy smashing the like button, why not just nudge that subscribe as well, so that you never miss a future video. We've got more Battlestar Galactica ships coming up. Also, there's Star Trek and Transformers and Doctor Who and Star Wars and goodness knows what else. So yeah, add a subscription to the channel, turn on those notifications so you really never miss a video, and I will be eternally grateful. In the meantime, thank you for spending the last 13 or 14 minutes with me. I have been the time-travelling toy collector. You've been a fantastic audience, and this has been the modern Basestar from the Battlestar Galactica collection. Just remains for me to remind you that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. So say we all.